Hey, it's Dave Wyman from Wyman and Bob. It's time for another season of Football 101. So happy to be back and breaking down the regular season games, and great start for the Seahawks. 1-0 at Indianapolis. They've won now 12 of the last 13 early starts on the road, the 10 a.m. start, and going back to 2018. So really a good job by them, winning 28-16. We're going to go offense today, and I got permission from Jay Keeps, and make sure you check out the film room with Jay Keeps, because I went to him and said, Jake, usually I do defense, but can I please have the Tyler Lockett touchdown, the 69-yard touchdown, because, you know, I thought that there was an interesting thing. Talked to Jordan Babineau, who does our pre and post game show, and he's a safety, and just the move that Tyler Lockett put on the safety was really interesting to me, and just the subtleness of it, that or subtlety, I should say, that you know, he just a slight little movement. Sometimes those slight little movements out on the field can turn the defender, or if you're on defense, can turn the offensive player a certain way so that you can beat them. And I thought this was really interesting. But first, let's go through what Russell did. We were all excited to see the new offense, and went 18 for 23, and you know, this is interesting. I think his best games are like 17 for 21 or 18 for 24. It's not like he has to have 30 plus attempts to have a really good game. 254 yards is not huge, but 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. So I thought, Russ, this is close to 80% completion percentage, so really good. The other thing I liked was the distribution. I called it perfect distribution of the passes. DK got 5 targets, 4 catches. Lockett, 5 targets, 4 catches, so perfectly even for those two. And then what I thought, and I think is going to be the number 3 receiver this year, is Will Dissly. And he had 3 targets and 3 catches. So, you know, and it could be Chris Carson, who also 3 and 3, or it could be Gerald Everett, who actually had a touchdown. It says 2 targets and 2 catches. He had a 20-yard little screen pass that he caught that went for 20 yards that got nullified because of a penalty. So if that hadn't happened, it would have been 3 and 3. So even more perfect. But yeah, I thought that Russ did a good job of distributing the ball all over the place. And I think these are going to be the main receivers here. Of course, we know Lockett and DK, but you know, you look at Dissly, I think is just a very surprising. I mean, he's a really good pass catcher and great blocker too. But so anyway, I thought it was great offensively. I want to look at this. I mentioned Jordan Babineau because we were doing the post game show, and he was like, "Oh man, that route that Lockett is a killer," and he called it a circle post. So, and we'll draw it up here in a minute, but it's just a little fake that he does, kind of a head fake. And he called it a cover 2 beater. I'm not entirely sure they were in cover 2 because it looked like there was a guy that dropped off on the backside. But on this side, the safeties were split. So what Lockett did was he just heads up the field. And when he gets, and the safety's backing up here, when he gets here, he makes just a subtle little move, and he turns his head also. So he starts to go back out, and that's kind of the circle part of it. And this gets the safety to turn his hips to the outside so he can run with him. And then right as he got him, and I'm sure he was watching that guy's hips, the second he turned his hips, then Locke just turns it back up into the post. And it's a perfect throw from Russ, 69-yard touchdown catch. And you know, when you look at that move, those little movements on the field, I love that. It's so subtle, you can barely see it, but we'll look at it on video. But he gets that guy, once he turns his hips to the outside, he's dead. So yeah, Lockett just blows right past him. Great throw by Russ. And so let's take a look at it on film. All right, let's take a look at it. We didn't get the all-22 film just yet this year. We'll see what happens there, but this is from the television broadcast, and you can see that Locke's lined up on the outside, Dissly on the inside. They're 2-by-2. On the other side, it's Swain and DK Metcalf lined up in pretty similarly, and then Carson's in the backfield, and that's something that I think that you're going to see quite a bit, because you know, Freddie Swain is also, and I didn't mention him, but he also is a really good receiver. All right, you can see now this is, you know, where Dissly has just run this little out route, but you see that this is where Lockett is starting to make that move. And look at his head. His head is turned to the outside. And again, he's starting the little circle part of the route right here. And all he's doing is he's looking right at the safety back here and waiting for him to turn those hips so then he can cut back across him. And here you see this is the byproduct of the move. This guy had his hips turned to the outside. He had to turn all the way back inside. And by now, you know, and this, if you look at the path that Lockett has come, it's just pretty much like that. That's the part of the circle there. And then he's heading back upfield. And I guarantee you this guy is going, this is going to look really bad on film because Lockett made a great little subtle move and he bit on it. And here he is making the catch, and is there any doubt that he was going to make this catch? I mean, you know, he already did the hard part of it, and that was selling the safety that he was going to go towards the sidelines. So, but Lockett had a great game. The catch that was most, I thought, spectacular was the one over his head. I thought he lost sight of that ball for a while. Jay Keeps will in the film room will break that down, but that was probably his most acrobatic catch and is probably the most difficult. But I think that this little move, this subtle little move, was probably the best play that I saw all Sunday as far as watching the rest of the league and his ability to get open. And then Russell taking a deep shot, and that's what Pete Carroll wants to do, is run the ball, which they ran more than they passed, and they want to take deep shots. And this was perfect, worked out perfectly, 69-yard touchdown and a 28-16 win.